Spider-Man is one of my all-time favorite superheroes. His recent portrayal in the Avengers movies has been satisfying and well executed in my opinion. One of the reasons I feel this way is because of the amount of detail the creators of the script put into Spider-Man's relatability and his antics. For example, when he's climbing up a tall tower for the first time, he comes to the realization of how high he is and becomes really alarmed about it. This is something I always pondered on personally. If I had superpowers, wouldn't I be scared trying them out for the first time and performing death-defying acts? As a result of this thinking, it reminded me of Boku no Hero Academia and Izuku exactly. The similarities between the two characters, with Deku struggling to control his powers and its effects, as well as having similar character traits to Spider-Man, it made me further understand why I may love both these characters. So, in this video, I would like to dive deep into how Spider-Man inspired and helped shape Boku no Hero Academia for what it is, and the similarities between the two characters that causes us to love them as much as we do and make them successful. Since I'm a 90s kid, Spider-Man had a large impact upon my memories of what I found enjoyable, but this is probably the case for children born in whatever era it may be. That's one of the positive factors of Spider-Man's character. He's designed in a way that's appealing to all children and adults because he's so relatable, and this is similar to Deku, because not only am I a lot older now and I'm an adult, Deku and Spider-Man still both make me laugh, and I see myself within them, which makes me love them even more. This can be with their motivation, their speech, character traits and feelings towards various subject matters that I can relate to and agree with. If any of you guys can remember Spider-Man the animated series or the Sam Raimi films in the early 2000s, it's pretty clear why Spider-Man had such a huge impact on our lives, not only in character but in branding. He was everywhere we went: video games, toys, movies, merchandise, backpacks, school equipment, cartoons and comics. So what makes Spider-Man so appealing to the child me and the adult version of myself now? And why do I love Deku and Boku no Hero Academia too? First things first, the creator of Boku no Hero Academia loves Spider-Man too. Kohei Horikoshi has admitted that Spider-Man had a big influence in My Hero Academia, and he collects American comic books. He has seen the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies and thinks they are super impressive, and on top of that, he admits Spider-Man's influence is mainly due to him being a teenage hero going through huge superheroic issues as well as having ordinary problems. So just looking at his place, we can see a large collection of comics, figurines and shows, and it just displays how much he loves Spider-Man's character. Spider-Man is similar to Deku's character, as both suffer from larger than life problems but also go through ordinary teenage issues we all experience in real life. An example of this is the parallel between both Deku and Spider-Man being bullied, having these nerd-like characteristics which let others prey on them whilst they are in school. This is a result that leads to one of the reasons of their strong sense of justice and morality once they receive their powers. How they both would like to be the bigger men in contrast to their bullies. This is something our child self and adult version can relate to, because bullies or someone that is pretentious to us can be anywhere. It can be at a social club, school or at your workplace. This is why both Deku and Spider-Man are so effective at pulling our heartstrings, as we have all imagined in our heads if we had the courage to speak our minds or take action towards the people we want to serve justice. The funny thing is though, I'm not trying to say beat up the bully or anything like that. Spider-Man and Deku kinda deal with them in the same way. Deku with Bakugo or other characters, and Spider-Man literally play a moral high ground and want to help them in their own way. It's admirable and we see that on screen. Spider-Man is a pop culture icon that has been around for 5 decades. He's a lovable character because he appeals to the younger versions of ourselves, or if you are around his age then he appeals to you. He's flawed in which he's inexperienced and he has to learn his powers as well as the responsibility that comes with it. This flaw results in his lack of judgment in situations he may be in. It could range from being girlfriend issues or a city being in danger from a villain. This is why Spider-Man's growth is so powerful when we read his comics or see him on screen, because we are growing up and learning from the same lessons he is. For example, in the Avengers movies, Iron Man is playing as a role model and father figure for Spider-Man to learn about his powers and suit. This is almost identical to Deku. Iron Man discovers Spider-Man and sees his potential. All Might discovers Deku and sees his potential. You guys get the point. All Might eventually takes in Deku and trains him in his powers and provides him teaching and guidance, just like Spider-Man does with various other characters in the comics and movies with various factors. Deku also falls under the same boat as Spider-Man due to both of them being young of age, and therefore the same rules apply to the anime. Deku's problems range from simple everyday issues to superhero problems we wish for him to overcome. Both Spider-Man and Deku inspire people of all ages to do the right thing, even if it's their own way. Take a look at Deku speaking to Todoroki in their fight. Deku encourages Todoroki to accept himself and embrace his fire side because it's who he is. He tries to do the same thing with Bakugo once their fight becomes serious with All Might. Spider-Man has similar characteristics. He has tried the same thing for most of his adversaries on multiple occasions. It's what makes us gravitate towards their humanity. Furthermore, once Spider-Man and Deku obtain their superpowers, they both discover responsibility in their roles. Spider-Man showcases to us the struggles of everyday life which we all experience, such as at school, work, whilst at the same time being a hero who has to take care of the people he loves. One of the biggest struggles of Spider-Man is trying to juggle all of this whilst nurturing everyone's needs in a set amount of time. This is something everyone, especially teenagers, relate to, since it's the age where you're trying to figure all this out for yourself and transitioning to becoming an adult. It's a life skill we all need and develop over time. This again mirrors Deku in Boku no Hero Academia, as Deku comes to find out the one for all is to save humanity against the all for one. Whilst he is still at school, working a job as a superhero, juggling relationships and trying to learn his powers. He learns the detrimental setbacks of what it means to be a hero and the struggle of juggling life. Both characters one day can be in an epic fight such as Deku facing Stain, but the next day they have a quiz that they must attend to at class. This grounds both characters in a unique way that doesn't usually happen for protagonists in a superhero story or anime. Both these characters fulfill a fantasy. Spider-Man is intelligent and loves science, which helps him with his battles against his enemies. Just how it was established in Boku no Hero Academia that Deku is kind of nerdy too, and he gathers data and notes on superheroes that eventually does help him against the enemies as well. You guys are agreeing with me so far, right? Is it just me, or are a lot of these similarities between the two, right? Make sure to let me know what your opinion is in the comment section below. Moving forward, another thing I noticed between the similarities between Spider-Man and Deku is the upbeat nature of these two characters. Spider-Man is known to be quite goofy, talkative and amusing. We can all chuckle at the things he says to enemies whilst fighting, as we are seeing through his Spider-Man's perspective, right? And we are thinking the same things at the time when he's fighting them, and comparing it to Deku in My Hero Academia being just as funny and goofy with the faces he makes or the things he says or thinking. Peter Parker and Deku both love that they are heroes, and knowing that they are making a difference and helping the greater good. So let me just show you a few clips between Spider-Man and Deku to showcase this similar goofy nature.
Probably stop staring before it gets creepy though.
Too late. You guys are losers.
恋バナ女子との通話ってすごい切り替えをもっと早く
Would you like me to engage enhanced combat mode?
Enhanced combat mode? Yeah.
Activating instant kill.
No. I don't want to kill anybody.
Deactivating instant kill.
よろしくお願いします。あ、あ、うわー、死んでるー。生きとる。あー、生きてるー。
What happened to your voice?
What do you mean, what happened to my voice?
I heard you by the bridge. I know what a girl sound like.
I'm not a girl, I'm a boy. I mean, I'm a man.
I don't care what you are. Boy, girl.
I'm not a girl, I'm a man.
力を渡した時に言ったことを覚えているかい？食え。違う、そこじゃない。
Come on! いいよ、多分僕1000万ゆえに超狙われるけど。
Okay, now I don't want this video to be too long, but just hear it out from one of the creators of Spider-Man, Stan Lee himself, on what he planned for Spider-Man, and think about Deku at the same time while he's describing this.
I think Spider-Man may be perhaps one of the most realistic of all the heroes, because when I originally planned him, I wanted him to have problems. The one thing that my publisher felt no hero should have. But I think the average reader can empathize with him and could say, gee, yeah, that happened to me. Sure, I know how he feels. I tried to make him as human as possible.
The great thing about Deku is that when I watch My Hero Academia, I feel the same way. The relatability I see in Spider-Man, I feel with Deku in the anime. They both are designed in a similar fashion, which makes them popular. I think in some ways the creator of Boku no Hero Academia, Kohei Horikoshi, must have self-reflected and thought to himself, why do I love Spider-Man? Why have I connected with this character and collected the comics and figurines all these years? Any great writer will deduce this and create analysis upon themselves and examine another writer's creation to help inspire themselves or influence their own work for the greater good. I've stated it before in other videos, everyone is influenced by something or someone. It's how we as human beings are in nature. And Horikoshi's love for Spider-Man has clearly inspired the anime to evolve into what it is, and I think it's a great thing and it's what makes My Hero Academia a fantastic anime. We all love Deku from My Hero Academia and Spider-Man probably for the same reasons. They are just like us. They're the underdogs that we love to support and hope they win. Average ordinary guys with family and big ambitions. They have superpowers, but that doesn't change the fact that they are relatable characters. They are both nerds who get picked on by folks at school, have girl problems, money issues or work related problems, and this is what makes both characters loved over time with their character arcs and progression and development. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and join in on the discussion. Make sure to smash the like button and subscribe, and you can follow us on Twitter, Snapchat or Instagram to be in the know of what we upload next. Thanks for supporting us over the years, and I'll see you next time.